We do believe that this is the silver bullet to help you really achieve success in your Ambit business, to get some structure for the coming week. If you will, just have your calendars open, your ears listening and ready, and have your top 10 names ready, and a pen and paper so you can prepare your week right along with it. If you've got friends that are in other teams, we encourage you to let them know about this call. It's a really great resource, and we would love to have them join us. I'm super excited to introduce the host of tonight's call. He's an executive in the business. He's been a very successful traditional business owner in his own right. He's a musician. He's owned a music box company, and he's a successful restaurant owner with several Dickey's barbecue locations here in DFW. He's a 5-star trip earner, which means of all the consultants in Ambit interviewed, he was one of 20 that was selected for a luxury vacation. And this gentleman is truly invested in your success, whether you're on his team or someone else's team. He really wants to see all of us grow together. So it's my pleasure to introduce you to Mr. Richard Laidler.
Hello, Christy. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
What a great job you are doing. It's tough to follow the wonderful, lovely, gorgeous Michelle Schaefer, but wow, what a job! You did a great job filling her shoes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Glad to listen to
you. Hey, no problem. Hey guys, it's Sunday night. Thank you all for getting on the call on this very bright moonlit night tonight. For those of you who've been watching the news and Facebook, the moon apparently is the brightest it's been since 1948. So pretty exciting. I went out there and had a look myself, and it looked pretty bright. But what was most amazing was you could actually see the craters on the moon better than usual. It was really interesting, really kind of cool. So yes, thank you very much for getting on the call. But more than that, give yourselves a congratulatory pat on the back for taking the time out to plan your Ambit week. As Christy was saying, we believe that of all the silver bullets that are out there, and there are a few great silver bullets, we believe that the most important silver bullet is for you to have structure in your business. Like you have structure in your life, in your job, in school, or whatever. If you didn't have the structure, you probably wouldn't do it. But because you have the structure, you do it. And also because you have the structure, you don't have to necessarily be rock stars to be successful. If you think about your job, you know, you get to work at whatever time you do, 8 o'clock in the morning or whatever, and you just do your job. You don't do these amazing heroic things every day. Well, some of you do if you're a firefighter or a policeman or one of our veterans or soldiers out there. But for the normal people out there, for the normal folks out there, we just do our job. And funnily enough, we get the job done, and we get paid at the end of the month. The company has people full of people who are getting their jobs done, and the company's successful and makes money. No rock stars, no drama, just solid, doing what needs to be done each week, and they find success. And that's exactly the same thing in Ambit. Very often you'll hear people saying, oh, we need to find the rock stars. We need to find the people that work 80 hours a week and da-da-da. And that's great if you do. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you rely on just finding them, then you'll be waiting quite a while until you actually do. So we believe that putting structure in your week is a perfectly good replacement for that. Because if you do just 30, you hear Merriam-Webster and Richard and Brian McClure talking about persistent and consistent effort during the week, just 30 to 40 to maybe 60 minutes a day into your Ambit week, and you'll find success. And that's absolutely true. What we do on this call is we kind of take that, the platitude, persistent and consistent over time. We look it up in the dictionary, and we find out actually what that means. And that's what we do on this call. And this call is basically so you don't start your week thinking, I really should do something in my Ambit week. The Purge call takes place every Saturday at 8 p.m. for any Ambit energy consultant, whether they're on our team or not. But as long as they're looking to make sure that they do the few simple things that you need to do every week to build a simple business. Too many consultants with all the best intentions allow life to get in the way and their Ambit businesses. And the one thing and it's ironic that then the Ambit business doesn't get done, and that's the one thing that could set them free from the things that are distracting them. So it's kind of like this dichotomy. So like in your job, the purge call, make sure you take the time to allocate time in your calendar, just like an appointment. We talk about 30, 40, 50, 60 minutes a day, but unless you take the time to say, I'm going to make a call at 10 o'clock on Monday morning to whomsoever it is, unless you do that, the day can go by. And I said Saturday night? Thank you, Dana. Sorry. Every Sunday night. Sorry, the purge call takes place every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Wow, I'm glad I've got my purge call police out there. Thank you, Dana, very much. I'm glad you're on the ball. I really must stop drinking before I get on the call. I really must. Anyway, so as I say, like in your job, the purge call, just make sure you allocate time to your Ambit business, when you're going to make a call, when you're going to make an accountability call. And basically what it is the purge call represents the structure in your Ambit business, the same as you have structure in your job and at school. What we do on the call, basically, we follow a simple protocol. Everybody needs to have a written list. When I used to hear that when I first got started, I found that very boring, the thought of writing a written list, and really I've got to sit down there and call people like it was a boiler room, like you just call. Nothing like that at all. This is just basically building up a list of people that at some point you'd like to show the business to, not ask to join, just show the business to. Some will like it, some won't. Either way, that's perfectly fine, because the other principle we work by is that we only need to have 3 people join our business and get them qualified. So that's basically when you start the business, get yourself qualified with 2 or 3 customers, and then we find 3 people just like us who want a plan B in their lives, and get them qualified with a couple of customers as well. And that's all we need to do. And if you're not worried about, trying to recruit hundreds of people, you can take the time to do a great job of allocating the time, creating the perfect invites, and bringing the right people into your team such that they will duplicate what you do. And that all starts with the written list. Once you've got your written list done, we do something called we score it using the Erica system. And basically what that is Erica is an acronym for how entrepreneurial you are, how resourceful you are, how many resources you have, do you have the money and the time, influence, do you know many people or don't you? C is city, are they local or not, and A is attitude. I've got a few that I score with a 0 in my in my Erica list, but just because they have a bad attitude and I don't want them in my team. But what this does is it means that every single name that's on your list gets a score. And what that does is it allows the cream to rise to the top. And so that the first people we're inviting to look at the business are maybe, in our opinion, the best people to join our business and help us build our team. Now, the thing is, everyone's going to get a call. So we're not prejudging. We're just giving ourselves a mean to make sure that we bring the right people into our business as quickly as possible. So written list, we score the written list using the Erica system. And if you want to know more details on that, there actually is a call I did on that, team call. It's actually on the EC Riders Facebook page. That's EC, which is obviously the acronym for Executive Consultant, EC Riders with an S. Just scroll back in the timeline there in the news feed, and you'll find there's a call where I explain exactly how to score your team using the Erica system. There's also some bonus stuff on there. I do some other training on specific inviting techniques, but go and have a look at that and you'll learn how to score using the Erica system. Once we've got our list scored, then we, on Sunday, like we are doing right now, we pull the top 10 names from that list, because obviously if they're scored, obviously they're in numerical order. And so what we want is from number 1 through 10, and we pull them down and we sit with our upline. One thing you do need to make sure that you do is you have an accountability partner. That can be your sponsor, but for those of you who can who don't have a sponsor can find someone cross-line from you. So they will do a perfectly good job for being an accountability partner for you, and they will help you put together the perfect invites for each one of those 10 people you pull down from your list. And getting the right invite is important because, so remember, though, we got the cream rise to the top. So we might have some business owners in there. We might have some chief of police in there. We might have head of the PTA. So we want to make sure that we have good invites. And the way to do that is to basically go through the right invite with your upline sponsor to help you put the right invites rather than just, hey, take a look at this video. I'd love to know what you think. Although that is an invite, and I'd rather you did that than nothing, there are ways to do the right invites. And then what we do, so then on Monday morning, we've got 10 names, 10 perfect invites, and that is a good feeling on Monday morning. Much better than, I really should do something with my Ambit this week. So give yourself a pat on the back for that once you've got that done. And then what we do is we do 2 invites a day, 2 invites Monday, 2 invites Tuesday, 2 invites Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And that's invites, not calls. You might need to get through a couple of voicemail message leavings to get an actual invite. We want to try and do 2 invites a day and then 1 accountability call. And that accountability call is usually done more towards the end of the day, so you've had time to make your invites. And that accountability call just basically is, so how did your calls go? What happened? Oh, well, this was said, this went right, this went wrong. And we discuss everything. We're vulnerable with each other and make sure that everything gets done. The accountability call, really more than anything else, is just to make sure you make the calls. Because even if you do that bad invite I was telling you about, hey, take a look at this video, I'd love to know what you think, do enough of them, you'll find the 3 we were talking about. So that's why I'm saying the structure, this purge call is the silver bullet, because you can do everything very, very mediocre. You can be experienced or inexperienced, but if you do it, you will find the 3 people you need to build your team. Remember, we just basically help people save money on an electricity bill. They're already paying that electricity bill. We're just saving them some money. And then we're helping 3 people who are sick and tired of their job or wanting to make some extra money or just are entrepreneurial do the same thing. 3 people. Do you know 3 people who are sick and tired who'd like to have something else? Do you know anybody out there that would like to save money on a bill they're already paying? Of course. Everybody on this call knows that. But the thing is, there are so many people that quit this business because they didn't find those 3 consultants and 2 customers. And not because they couldn't, it's because they didn't. It's not because they couldn't, it's because they didn't. They didn't allocate the time in their week to doing it. They gave it 2 or 3 weeks and go, oh, this business isn't working, and quit. So the truth was they weren't working. And so this is basically, it's a structure, and as much as that, it's actually an environment into which you can all plug into, not only you, but your team. As you bring new people on, plug them into this call, and I'll train them for you. So that's an added bonus there. And so basically what we do is we have that system, again, written list, score with the Erica, pull top 10 names down, create the perfect invites, 2 invites a day, 1 accountability call a day, and that's your week. Then the following Sunday, we purge the list. That's why it's called the purge call. We look at those 10 names, the yeses, we plug into the same system. The maybes, we get them validated. Many of those maybes will probably be no's, and they're just trying to be nice to you. And we purge them. We basically get them, purge them down for a callback in 3 or 6 months, and they'll get a call back, and maybe their timing is a little better down the line. But what it's allowed you to do is to clean your plate so you have a nice clean plate for the following week. There's nothing worse than the same names hanging around. And what that does is it builds up this kind of like this beaver dam of all these names that never get purged. Oh, they said they'd do it. They said they'd do it. No. If they haven't made a decision after like 4 or 5 calls, or they're giving you the runaround with maybes, just gently purge them and say, you know what, obviously the timing isn't for you right now. Maybe you could become my customer, and let's look again at this in about 3 to 6 months. Just get them out the way, because you want a nice clean week at the beginning of each week. And so that's what we do. That's what we do in this system. And what I do on this call is I actually do all of those things with a real, live, willing victim, a consultant that's out there either in my team or usually in someone else's team. And I basically work their week with them. I am their accountability partner. And you guys all get to be voyeurs, listening in and taking notes and applying, as Christy was saying, applying whatever you learn to your list. We may be, when we talk to the victim today, she may come up and say, oh, I'm talking to a lawyer, or I'm talking to a teacher, or I'm talking to a whatever, and we'll create an invite for them. And you know what you can do is you can write that exact same invite down for the lawyer on your list, for the doctor on your list, for the teacher on your list. And that's what we want to do. Please don't sit there idly just listening in thinking, oh, my gosh, that guy's accent is awesome. Okay, I want you actually working along with us. Yeah, that was a really bad accent, all right? I know it was. So what I want you guys is making sure you work alongside with us so we can build a great business together. So with that, what I need to do is to bring on my willing victim. This lady has become a good friend of mine. Over the recent months, we keep bumping into each other at all the business presentations. She's very, very hardworking. I see her wherever I go. I see her at the business presentations. I see her at the team trainings. There's a clue, if you want to promote in the business, and this lady has promoted, you need to be at the trainings and the business presentations. So what I would like to do, first of all, is to bring on my brand new willing victim, regional consultant, Miss Janet James. Are you there, Janet?
Yes, I am.
How are you, my lovely?
Oh, I'm doing awesome. How are you?
I am doing just great. How's my accent? Was it really bad?
No, it's you. It's
No, it's just when I was doing my Texan, or I don't even know if it was even Texan. Was it even close?
No.
Okay, well,
close.
moving on. All right. All right, well, moving on then. We won't go any further with that. I'll work very hard on my accent, I promise. So, Janet, I would imagine that most people, we've got a lot of people on the call today. So, hey, guys, again, thank you very much for getting on the call. Just so you all know, by the way, I have a little secret why I'm doing this. I want this call to become as big as Brian McClure's national call. Just to let you know, I've got this little desire out there. Just so you know, that's just a little secret. But anyway, Janet, a lot of people on this call will not know who you are. So would you mind just spending a minute just kind of letting everybody know I don't like to do this with ladies, but just kind of an idea of what, generation you are, whereabouts you are, whether you're married or single, what you do for a living, and maybe why you started an Ambit business. Just about 60 seconds, if you wouldn't mind, please.
Okay, I've been a hairdresser for 42 years of my life. I have been married for 10 years to a real sweet man. I was married for years, and my husband passed away 13 years ago, so I married a sweet man. I've been a hairdresser for 42 years, and I've also been in direct sales and network marketing for 17 years, pretty successfully. And so I came in as a customer. My friend talked to me for 2 years about my electric bill, and 9 years after deregulation, I didn't even know you could choose. So I was a TXU customer paying 30%, 40%. I came in as a customer, and then 4 months later, I had saved $400. So I called my friend back and said, I want to do this because how many senior citizens, how many single moms could we help? And that's why I came into business.
That's a good reason. Yeah, for sure. That's a good reason. And when you're making those sort of savings, how difficult was it to make a decision to switch?
Oh, it wasn't. I mean, when I see, that's what people don't understand. I didn't even know deregulation had happened. So my friend showed me, and then I still wouldn't listen about the business. But after my savings, I was like, oh my gosh, I just have to tell everybody about this. So that's why I came into business. 61 years old.
What network marketing company were you in before?
I was with Juice Plus for 17 years and the Comma Club for 17 years.
So you were working with products?
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Well, good for you. And do you still do that, or have you moved over to Ambit now?
I don't do it anymore. That's the weirdest thing because it's my husband passed away from a heart attack very young. My heart was to help other people because I didn't want that to happen to anybody. But after I came on here, it's just like timing. I quit working that business. Now I still got almost $1,000 last month with that business because it's like this business. You get paid for what you start, but I am actually working my Ambit business now almost totally.
Now, isn't that interesting that there you are? Obviously, you can do two network marketing businesses as long as the product doesn't compete. And obviously, if you're doing products like that, then they're not competing with electricity. But how wonderful is that? Not necessarily for just Ambit, but for anybody who's in this great industry of network marketing can still be receiving a residual income from a business that she started 17 years ago and still getting paid, 4 figures a month. I mean, 4 figures a month in residual income, that's a lot of money you need to have in the bank, making 1 or 2% interest to make that. So well done. That is really, really good. That's really good stuff. I like that, Janet. That's a good deal. But let's move on because I want to make sure we get going and get as many invites as we can in on the call. So first of all, my first question is, do you have a written list?
Yes, I do.
Good answer. Have you scored it using the Erica system?
Yes, I kind of have.
Kind of have. Okay, we need to work on that, but we'll do that on the accountability calls during the week because we need to make sure that Erica scoring is so valuable. If you ask some of the previous PURGE call alumni, Dana and Christy and Beth and Javier, they're all very strict with their Erica score, and it just brings all the greatest people to the top of the list. And then when those really good people join your team, they make it so much easier. But we'll talk about that on another call. So that's a good deal. So first of all, my first question to you is, could you just quickly list to me the 10 names of the people we're going to be inviting? Not so fast that I can't write them down, but get through them pretty quick. So what have we got? Just the first names, please.
Okay, Alice Prickle.
Just the first name, please, lovely. I want to make sure.
Okay, Alice.
Sometimes if you say the last name, someone on the call may say, hey, I know such and such, and it causes an issue. So we want to make sure we avoid that. So just the first name, please.
Okay, Alice, Sherry, Paul, Darren, Rodney, Julia, Jessica, Pat, Karen, and Sharon.
Okay, well, I'm a faster typer than I thought. All right, well, let's get straight on in. Let's go ahead with Alice. Tell me a little bit about Alice. First of all, every time you say the name, the next thing is tell me how old they are, please.
Okay, Alice is probably in her late 70s, maybe 80s. She's a real estate lady. Okay, go ahead. And she's very professional. Her husband passed away, but she's very sharp, and I just think that she would be good in this business because she's been in it. She's very professional.
Okay, so do you know if she has any kind of pain in her life? Has she expressed anything to you? Shortage of money, worries about, obviously she's a more senior person. Any worries from that perspective, from that type of thing? No. She just, I think that she needs something in life, and she's been very successful in everything she's done. And so her husband has passed away. And so I just feel like being very professional and being very successful at the real estate market, that her husband's passed away, and I just feel like this might be a fit for her because she could work part-time and make some. And did she express any desire to, I know with a lot of older folks, they want to try and give back a little bit and help folks and this type of thing. Has she got a giving heart?
Yeah, she's taken care of her husband for years, and he's had cancer. I mean, he's been very elderly, and so she's had a very hard go of it. But he passed away, I don't know, last year. And so I just thought about her because she is very professional, and I just feel like she would be good at the business. Okay.
All right. Well, let's have a go for an invite with this. Well, with an invite, again, for those of you, there's some numbers on the call I don't recognize, so we've got some new people on the call. When we create an invite, we kind of have some guidelines. And the reason why we have guidelines is it then makes it easy for others downline from you to duplicate what you did using the same guidelines. And just for those of you who have a pen and paper, which of course is 100% of you, yes, I know. Yes, I can see you back there without your notepad. Get your notepads out. Here are the 5 things that we need to do to build an invite. First of all is always be in a hurry every time. So, Janet, when we're going through the invites, you'll always hear me, even when I'm role-playing with you, say, listen, I'm in a little bit of a hurry right now, but. Okay, so please include those when we're role playing during the week. Don't think, oh, the being in a hurry is, I don't need to say that. No, please do in the role calling, because role playing, because then what it does is it creates a habit, and then you'll always do it in an invite. We want to be in a hurry. Okay, so I want to be in a hurry. Secondly, use your why or their why. And if you don't know that, you can go for a compliment or ask for an opinion, and that'll make more sense when we go through the invites. Number 3 is a hook, the thing that is exciting about the business. I expect to be able to quit my job next year. This is going to get my kids' college funds paid for. A hook, that's what we call a hook. Number 4 is the takeaway. That is obviously, listen, it may or may not be your thing. And the reason why we do that is, first of all, to make them feel comfortable, but secondly, to protect ourselves if they do say no to the business. Because then you can say, well, you know what, I did say it wasn't for everybody, but thank you very much. Perhaps you'd consider being my customer. If you don't use the takeaway, then it feels like they've taken something from you when they say no. You feel rejected. But if you've given them the it may or may not be your thing, when it's not their thing, you've already preempted that. You said it may not be. And it protects you, and that's the reason why I do it, is it protects me from being rejected. And number 5 is a very intentional setting of the time. So in a hurry, your why, the hook, the takeaway, and very intentional setting of the time. So, for example, with someone like Alice, I might say, hey, Alice, this is Janet. Does she know you, by the way? Do you know each other pretty well?
Oh, yeah, I've done her hair for years.
Oh, okay. Hey, well, obviously, if you're super close like this, you can say, hey, Alice, this is Janet. Listen, I'm in a little bit of a hurry right now, but I've been meaning to give you a call. Now, just one thing. Janet, explain to me exactly why you're doing the business again. What's like a 10-second, I'm doing the business because?
I'm doing the business because me and my husband are 60 and 62, 61 and 62, and 3 years from now we want to walk away financially and time-free.
You got it. Okay, I completely get that, and I'm a little bit behind you age-wise, but I'm exactly the same, and I get that, and Ambit can 100% do that for you. Okay, great. That's perfect. All right, so, hey, Alice, this is Jan. I'm in a little bit of a hurry right now, but I've been meaning to give you a call. Do you have a second? And she'll say yes, and I'll say, look, I don't know if you know, but Janet, what's your husband's name?
Rick.
Rick and I, obviously, we're in our 60s and we're approaching retirement age, and we want to make sure that we have all the money that we need, so we're not, having to continue to work up into our 70s. I don't mind if we're choosing, but I don't want to have to. But so we started a project on the side that is doing really well for us in the DFW area. We've already promoted in the business. We're already making money. And I'm really excited that we will be able to retire as a result of this project we're working on. And the reason why I'm calling you really is twofold. First of all, obviously you've been a very experienced, very professional real estate agent for a very long time, and I totally respect your opinion. I'd love to know what you think about the business. But more importantly than that, I've got to know you over the years, and I know that you're looking to keep yourself busy, and I think this might be something that you'd like to do as well. It certainly helps a lot of people out there. It certainly obviously brings in money for yourself, but it certainly would help a lot of people as well out there. What are you doing tomorrow around 3 o'clock? Can we grab a coffee? I want to show you what I'm doing. So I've got some questions there. Someone just texted me. Let me respond to that because someone was asking about the 5 things. Hey, Deus, how you doing, man? Number 5. Okay, the 5 things again. Someone's asking me what the 5 things are. Number 1, being in a hurry. Number 2, your why. Number 3, the hook. Number 3, the hook. Number 4, the takeaway. This may or may not be your thing, but. And then number 5, the intentional setting of the time. Okay. All right. So based upon that, when you heard that invite, Janet, did that feel like the sort of thing that Alice may respond well to?
Yes, I think she would. It's not, you're not being needy, but you're explaining that we let her off the hook, and that that she's helping me and Rick, and that it might be something that she might be interested in doing.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. You know, we kind of got everything there. First of all, you know, you express your why so that Alice listens to you with her heart and not her ears. Then the hook, you're excited about it, and you know that you're going to be able to retire with all the money that you need. But then, as I say, you know, Alice, it may or may not be your thing, and that's perfectly fine. But what are you doing for coffee? You know, 3:00 tomorrow afternoon. I'd love you to see what I'm doing. So obviously, this call is being recorded, Janet, because you're going to need to write this invite down. I'm very keen on everybody writing their invites down. I know it's very easy to go, oh, no, I got it. But the thing is that sometimes when you're calling someone, especially someone like Alice, who's very professional, sometimes you can get a little nervous. And when you get a little nervous, sometimes you can get a little verbose, a little too wordy, say a little bit too much. But if the invite is written down, it keeps you on track. So, Janet, if you like that invite, listen back to the call. Obviously, you know, put y'all from Texas, so y'all talk different than I do. So you may want to say it a little differently than I do, but I think that approach would definitely be the right approach for Alice, because we said, look, I really appreciate your opinion, because she's obviously very professional. But secondly, you know what? It might be something you'd like to do as well. Yeah, I think there's a lot of good stuff in that invite. And if it makes sense to you, then, as I say, write it down, and that's your first invite done. Did you have any more questions on that one?
No, I think that's awesome.
Okay, cool. All right, let's have a look at. I think did you say Cherry or Sherry?
Sherry.
Sherry. Okay.
Sherry.
Tell me a little bit about Sherry.
Sherry is a person that I met at El Phoenix, and she and her husband, I guess her husband's originally from McKinney, and I just connected with them and kind of told them I was an electrical consultant. And she gave me her number because she's going to be moving out to where we were. I called her, and she said, oh, that Ambit thing, and she said, call me anyway. Call me. This is like on Labor Day, and I called her, and then we never got together. But no, she's interested, but I need to go back and try to get her to just, you know, sit down with me or call her, because she seemed really interested. She just seemed like she was busy.
Yeah, this is, a lot of people are busy, and this is why, what was interesting when I started doing these purge calls a few months ago, the thing that I think I thought needed the least training was actually the thing that we needed the most, and that was the intentionality of the setting of the time. And your language is really going to help you here. You know, I hear people on the call, and they'll say, do you think you could be available sometime at the weekend? Or, you know, I'm not sure what time you finish work, but, you know, what sort of is going to be a good time for you? And that sounds okay, but it's actually it's not doing you any favors, because it gives them the power and you want the power, not in a bad way, but you just want to maintain your control so you don't waste your time. So I would say, if I was asking to see you, Janet, I'd say, Janet, look, I finish work about 5:30, 5:45, and I know there's a Starbucks just around the corner from you. Is that a good time for us to meet, or would like 7 o'clock be better for you? So it's very intentional. It's very much, it's not can we meet, can't we meet? It's when will we meet, now or later? It's very much no, we're meeting. It's just a matter of when, not if. And so you're going to need to be very intentional with Sherry to make sure that you can get her timing sorted out. But you say she gave you her number because she's moving and she was thinking you're going to give her a call to be a customer?
She just gave me her number because she's moving next year out to our area. And then when I called her, she just, oh, yeah, that electrical thing, I want to talk to you. Oh, and that was okay, Labor Day weekend. Yeah. And then she said, call me on Monday. Well, I called her. She goes, oh, my grandkids are here. So she really seemed open. But I just couldn't get her to. I couldn't, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a great one to do because it's slightly different. She's already shown you've got interest. This invite needs to be like super short, super to the point, and it's all about tying down the time. All the focus on this call is going to be on tying down the time. So I would give Sherry a call. I'd say, hey, Sherry, this is Janet. I'm in a little bit of a hurry right now. Like you, I'm super busy. You mentioned that you wanted to find out more about the electricity company. I've got a super busy week like you, and I've got a couple of slots during this week. one being at such and such a time and the other one at this time, but I also have some time at the weekend. What time is going to be better for you? Because I know you're really busy. I would put all of my effort into finding the slot of time that she can do it. I didn't talk about my why. I didn't talk about her why. I didn't talk about the hook. I didn't talk about anything. She's already interested. Everything, all of your effort is all about setting the time. So that's what I would do with her. But be really intentional.
Okay.
There's going to be, I don't know if I know you've been on these calls before, so you know about the posture. And your posture is going to be important here. And you saying how busy you are is just as important as you appreciating how busy she is, because she needs to know she can't waste your time either. If she thinks she's got all the time in the world, oh, I can meet you any time, then that devalues your time. So we want to let her know, look, I've got a super busy week this week. And I know you do, Janet. I know you're busy, so that's not a lie. I've got a super busy week this week, and I know you're really busy in what you do. So I've got a couple of slots open during this week, and I wanted to see which one's going to be best for you. Not if we can meet, but which one of the slots I've got open is going to be best for you. I've got Tuesday at 5:30. I've got, Thursday at blah, 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 blah. But if not, then, I don't know how Sunday's for you after church, et cetera, et cetera. So really narrow down the time and work hard on it. Work with her to find the perfect time so that it really, every bit of work you do on that time will solidify it. That's what I would do with that one.
Okay.
All right. So what about, let's move. Do you have any questions on that one, lovely?
No, I think that I can go back on the call and I can go back over and just get a really good verbiage. So when I call her, I won't be nervous.
I can't imagine you're so nervous. You always come across as so confident when I speak to you.
Oh, I don't know.
Right. I don't know. Well, let me tell you, and it's going to be really interesting. I'd love to know, in fact, maybe we can talk about this during the week on the accountability calls, is how much it helps you by having your invites already done and written down. I'm really interested to get your feelings on these calls, because there's a lot of people out there who are really trying very hard to build their business, and for whatever reason, they're having some issues. And very often the issues are not skills. It's actually feelings of confidence, feelings of fear, feelings of nervousness. And because we have structure and we have help and guidance and accountability on this call, very often we can allay those worries and fears and emotions. And I know Dana would be the first one to say that this call has really helped him, not only in his organizational skills and his ability to invite, but more than that, his posture, his confidence in his call. And I mean, he's really quite sassy in his invites now. I mean, he does a great job. I mean, there's such a marked difference. So if you wouldn't mind, Janet, I'd love to hear how you feel by having these invites ready and prepared for you during the week as we do our accountability calls.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Tell me a little bit about Paul.
Okay. Paul owns one of the biggest Keller Williams real estate business in McKinney, Texas. He's a lifelong friend. And I am just going to go, and what I really want to do is get him to give me referrals when they sell houses to help them get, and or see if he would like to, another side business. So I'm just going to call him. I want to call him and see if I could go to lunch with him and show him what I'm doing.
Okay, this is an important call to get right. You say he's a lifelong friend, right?
Uh-huh.
So are you nervous to call him?
Yes, he's on my chicken list.
Great. Okay. You'll find Paul, if he is as successful as he is as a Keller Williams agent, first of all, real estate people are, I found pretty much across the board, super nice people and very understanding, because they're very often on the other side of the customer situation, and so I find most are really great people, and we have a lot of real estate people in the Ambit business. But this one is very much, if you stick to the structure and write your invite down, it'll stop you getting nervous, stop you babbling, and it'll keep you on track. But with Paul, this one's a real obvious one to me. I want you to go to Paul and ask for his opinion. You have synergy in the businesses because obviously he's putting people into houses who use electricity, and there's an opportunity for referrals. But at the same time, you want his opinion and guidance and help. And so what's very important is your why. He's a lifelong friend, so he's going to care about your why. So I would be, Paul, listen, hey, Paul, this is Janet. I'm in a little bit of a hurry right now, and I know you're super busy in your business. Do you have a moment? And he will say yes, and I'd say, okay, well, as you know, Rick and I are now, in our 60s and advancing towards our retirement years, and we want to make sure that we've got everything, all our ducks in a row, and certainly from a financial standpoint, everything we need to see us through to our old age. And because of that, we've started a business project that we've been working on for, I don't know how long you've been in the business, but a couple of years or a year, which is going really, really well for us in the DFW area. And there's the hook. And I'm very confident that this will give us all the financial support we need for our retirement. So that's all the hook in there. But here's the reason why, Paul, the reason why I'm calling you is obviously we've been friends for a long time, but more importantly that I know you've been super successful in your Keller Williams business. And to be quite frank, there's a couple of reasons why I wanted to come and see you. And the most important one is I would really appreciate you looking at what I'm doing because I would very, very much appreciate your professional opinion. There's synergy in the businesses, but more than anything else, I would really appreciate your opinion. The other reason is there's obviously, as you know, in your business, it's the same in my business, we really need to maximize our networking potential. We need to meet people all the time, and I know you are very, very well connected. And so that may be enough. Those two things is looking for an opinion and referrals. If you want to, and I'm going to leave this with you, if you want to and say, Paul, and so this could be a third thing, say, Paul, additionally, I don't know, but this may be something you want to do alongside what you're currently doing. And let me tell you why. Firstly, because we know that if ever there's a downturn in the economy, the housing market takes a dive. And I don't know if you have anything in your business portfolio that is either residual or recession-proof. And the business that I'm working on is both of those things specifically because I need it to take care of me in my retirement. So it may be something you want to do as a plan B too. So I don't know what time is a good time for you being a real estate agent, but I can meet in the afternoon at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, or I can go more later after work at 5:30 on Thursday. Which one's going to be best for you? So there was a lot in that one, Janet. There was a lot of information in that one. But if you noticed, I did use some kind of business language. I talked about synergy. I talked about your business portfolio and things like, recession-proof and residual. Business owners are going to hear that. It's going to ring a bell with them. So if all of you listening on the call, if you have business owners and people of, who you kind of look up to, people on your chicken list, then use language like that because they will appreciate it. I know when I was talking with Christy Meck, she had a business owner. He had 6 businesses. And the one thing that ran, he said, I didn't have any time for anything else. He was very polite and very lovely, super nice guy, but didn't have any time for anything else until I said, and I asked him the question, are any of your businesses recession-proof, and do any of them have any residual? He said one of them had residual, but none of them were recession-proof. And I said, well, perhaps you may want to consider looking at this business from a standpoint of having something in your business portfolio that is recession-proof. Do you hear all that language? It's very different than you'd be asking, a 22-year-old waitress from El Phoenix. No disrespect to 22-year-old waitresses from El Phoenix. It's just a different language. So every one of the 5 things are there. Being in a hurry, using your why. He's your friend, so your why is going to make him listen with his heart and not his ears. He's going to want to help you and Rick. You have the hook. You talked about it making money so that it can make sure you have everything you need for your retirement. And then you gave 3 reasons why you want to talk to him. You want his opinion. You want to network with him for referrals. And thirdly, if you want to, if you're brave enough, to say, look, Paul, I'd like you to take a look at this because I think this would be a great business to work alongside what you're currently doing in your Keller Williams business, because in Keller Williams, you're not recession-proof. All it takes is a downturn in the economy, whereas the business I'm talking about, it's both recession-proof and has a residual element to it. And then, boom, straight in for the close. What are you doing after work, 5:30 on Friday or whatever it is? Posturing, making the appointment. He may come back to you, as indeed any of these people may come back to you with a what is it. I would expect that from Paul, so expect it from him, what you got. And that's when I would say, listen, as I said at the beginning of the call, I'm just about to go into such and such. The biggest protection you've got in your invite is being in a hurry. Do not forget to be in a hurry, because you'll be in all sorts of a pickle if you're not in a hurry and they ask you what it is and you start trying to explain it. Then you will see a side of this business that no one likes. And let me tell you, for those people who do not have the skill to avoid getting dragged into a presentation on the phone, they're the ones who quit this business, because you only need to get dragged into a presentation 2 or 3 times and you think, I am not doing this business. It is painful and horrible. And that is the truth. I hate getting dragged into a presentation. I couldn't do it. I'd feel embarrassed and wordy. And so be in a hurry. Everybody on this call, every invite you do, you must be in a hurry. Make it a habit. Please be in a hurry. You will protect yourself from one of the biggest failings in this business of being in the valley of death when someone's dragging into your business presentation. So posture is important on this, Janet. Don't let him drag you into a business presentation. So be ready for him to ask you what it is, but make sure you are in a hurry and you cannot tell him, and you'll tell him all about it when you see him at the time that you pre-specified, okay?
Okay.
But have that invite written down. Be really prepared for that one, and it will give you the best chance that you can as whether he's going to join the business. But the most important thing over and above all of that is we don't care if he joins or not. We'd really like him to, but you cannot be emotionally tied to whether he joins or not. If it's not his thing, then, as long as we've done everything we can to let him see the business in the best light possible, if he doesn't want to do it, you've got to let him go, and he'll come back onto your list in 6 months, because we'll purge him and we'll bring him back in 6 months and ask him again when the timing may be better. You've got to. You still want to show him the business, because even if it's not for him, again, he's going to know a lot of people, and he's certainly going to who may want to look at the business, but he's also going to be a good source of referrals for customers for you.
Yes, that's awesome. Okay.
Okay, we spent a lot of time on that one, but again, I think there's a lot of value in that one for the people on the call. If you guys are getting value from these invites, please send me a thumbs up, because sometimes I'm out here shooting in the dark. My number's 214-766-4613. Again, 214-766-4613. If you're getting value from this, if you're enjoying this, please send me a thumbs up so I just know that we're not just shooting in the dark here. Okay, all right, so let's move on. Let's go to Darren.
Okay, Darren is a friend of my husband's and I. So my husband was the ministry leader of the singles department at Cottonwood Creek Church, and Darren was in our singles. Real sweet guy. He's probably 60-ish, and he's divorced, or he was divorced at that time. And I just see him on Facebook. He's very positive, and think he'd like to go do this with us.
Okay. So you say your husband ran the singles club thing with the church?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. And how else do you? So you say he's 60. All right, I'm just making notes here so that I can keep referring to it. Good. Lots and lots of thumbs up. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. All right. So what else do you know about him? Obviously, he's not married, because he's obviously at the singles place. Does he have children or anything?
Yes, he has grown children. Yeah, he has grown children, and he worked. I think he works for Southwestern Bell or some kind of telecom thing. But he rides motorcycles, and he's just very positive. And I just thought he would be a neat person to join the business. And besides, he likes us.
Do you know him very well? Liking you definitely helps. Do you know him very well?
I know him pretty well, and my husband knows him he's very big. He was very big buddies with my husband.
I tell you what, just for the sake of being different, let's do a nice straight out direct invite with this guy. This feels like a direct thing because you're obviously impressed with how nice a guy he is and how positive he is. Let's go for a direct. The great thing about that is that that'll add a little bit more variety to what we're doing. Wow, I'm getting all these thumbs up. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. My chest is swelling with pride. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Don't get no more thumbs up. I'll start crying. Okay, so Darren, let's get a direct invite for Darren. So what I mean by a direct is you certainly still use your why, but we're going to go straight in there. Now you're just trying to make me cry. Everybody's doing it on purpose now. So I'll be, hey Darren, this is Jan. Now he knows both you and your husband, right?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Okay. Hey Darren, this is Janet. I've been meaning to give you a call this week. I'm in a little bit of a hurry right now. I've just got to go and whatever it is, doing your thing. But I know you're busy at your job. Do you have a moment? And he'll say yes. And I say, well, look, I've been meaning to give you a call this week because obviously, Rick and I, we work hard. We have a lot to do with the church and stuff. But more important than that, we're approaching retirement age, as indeed, you're the same age as us. You are too. So we started a business project a year. How long have you been doing this, Janet? A year, 2 years?
1 year, not August.
Okay. All right. So, we've been building this business for the last year, which is doing really, really well for us. And it's going to have us both fully funded when we retire. And obviously, we're really excited about it. So there's the hook, all right? So you got your why and your hook in there. And hey, Darren, the reason why I wanted to talk to you was because I've always been so impressed with, you're obviously such a nice guy, but how positive you are and how good with people you are. And I'm going to be quite frank with you, Darren. I need to find a couple of business partners that can help me build this business, to help me manage the growth that we're having in the DFW area. And I want you to take a look at it and consider becoming my partner in this business. Darren, let me tell you this, and I have a nice big fat takeaway right now. Darren, and I'll say his name, Darren, it may or may not be your thing, and truly that is fine. But bearing in mind how well Rick and I are doing and your personality type, you will kill this thing. So I want you to take a look at what we're doing. What are you doing like around 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon? I'm not sure what time you finish work, but I know there's a Starbucks. I'm already going for the close. I'm details on the close. There's a Starbucks just around the corner from such and such, and maybe Friday's good for you, or maybe after church on Sunday or whatever. I'm going for the close. So you see how that invite's slightly different. Same being in a hurry. Still stated your why. So Darren, because he knows and loves you, is going to listen with his heart and not his ears. Then the hook. This is going to mean that Rick and I are going to be fully funded for our retirement, which is obviously everything to us right now. And Darren, let me be frank with you. Like, boom, lay it out there. I've always been so impressed with what a lovely chap you are. You may not say lovely chap. You may say nice guy. What a nice guy you are. And how great you are with people, and you're just so positive. I need to find a couple of business partners to help me manage the growth of our business in this area. And I want you to consider being a partner. Being my partner. You may want to say to him, don't worry, it's something you can do alongside your job. That you don't have to quit your job for it. You may want to put that in there just to reassure him. And then I'm like, boom, go for the close. I don't know what time you finish, but around 5:30 tomorrow afternoon, let's go meet at Starbucks, and I'll show you what we're doing. And again, on the takeaway, it's very much I'll state the name, Darren. I understand it may or may not be your thing, and let me tell you, that is perfectly fine. Our friendship with you is much more important than a business opportunity. But bearing in mind how well Rick and I are doing and what a great personality you have, I think you will really like what you're going to see. So again, what time is 5:30 good for you? Sound good?
Yes, sounds awesome.
And I'm going to try and get this recording actually up tonight. It takes me a little while to edit it and actually get it up on Facebook. But so that you've got it, the invite's written down for tomorrow, I'll make sure I get it up there for you to listen to the recording so you're in time for tomorrow. Sound good?
Sounds great. Sounds great.
I am such a lovely chap. What a lovely chap I am.
You are.
All right, let's talk about Rodney. Let's see if we can get a couple more invites in. We may get one.
Okay, Rodney. Okay, Rodney is a guy that went to high school with us. He was a football player, and he owns a big landscaping business that I drive by every day coming home from work. And so I just thought about, he knows a lot of people, and so I just thought I'm going to stop by there and give him, I don't have his phone number, but I'm just going to stop by and give him a magazine, or I'll call his business and just tell him about this business that it might be a dual business for him.
Okay, this is a duplicate for Paul, the Keller Williams guy. This guy's a big-time business owner, landscape business. Again, landscape businesses suffer in a time of if the country is struggling. He obviously he is trading his time for money. Landscape businesses do not represent residual income. So it'd be very similar to Paul. Hey, Rodney, this is Janet. Do you say you're going to stop by or call him?
I can get his phone number off of the landscape sign, or I could do either or I could call him and see if I could stop by. I mean, I could do either one.
And you were at school together, right?
He was younger than me, but we grew up in McKinney when McKinney was a little town and everybody knew everybody.
Okay, so when you call him, he'll know who you are. All right, this is the same call as Paul. I'd be, hey, Rodney, this is Janet. I'm real busy right now. I'm just about to go into such and such, and I know, obviously, with your landscape business, you're real busy. Do you have a moment? And he'll say yes, and then I would give him, your why. Hey, as you know, Rick and I, we're in our 60s, and I know you're obviously your late 50s. We've got retirement around the corner. And, we're concerned to make sure we have enough funds for our retirement. And so a year ago, just over a year ago, we started a new business in the DFW area that's doing really, really well. We're really excited, and it will be making sure we're fully funded for our retirement when we retire. So there's a hook. And then I'd say, and Rodney, I'm going to be straight up with you. You're a successful business owner. I want you to take a look at what I'm doing for a couple of reasons. Number one, I would really respect your professional business opinion. You know the area really well. The business is in the area here, so I would really respect your opinion. Secondly, this business is all about networking and meeting new people. I know you are well connected in the area. I'd love to talk to you about that. And then again, I'll give you the third as an option. I would say this, but it's an option for you. I would say, but Rodney, more than anything else, I know your landscape business is susceptible to the economy, and this business is recession-proof, and it may be a really responsible business to have as a plan B alongside what you're currently doing. I don't know if it's going to be your thing or not, but if not, I would respect your opinion and certainly some introductions. What are you doing after work at such and such? So very similar to Paul. Again, make sure you have it very fixed in your mind. Make sure you write it down longhand, not notes, longhand, written out. Not because you're going to read it as a script. Some do. I know Christy said that she actually read hers as a script and was very natural at it. Others use it as a guideline, but again, it's this crutch. It's sitting there right next to you just in case you get lost. If you've got people on your chicken list, you're going to be nervous. All right, well, we're at 8:58, Janet, so I'm going to say good evening to you unless you had any questions on that.
No, that was awesome.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to get this edited and recorded up on the EC Writers Facebook page. Get onto the Facebook page, ask to join the team. I will ask to join the page. I'll approve, and you can then listen to the recording again tonight if you're not already approved. I know you are already, Janet, but for those who are listening. But I'm going to say good night, Janet, because we're running out of time real quick. So good night, Janet, and I'll talk to you a little bit later on about getting on an accountability call during the week. Is that okay?
Okay. That sounds great. Thank you so much.
Indeed. Thanks for getting on the call. Okay, for those of you who are listening in, hopefully that was some great information for you. The Sunday national call with Brian McClure is starting literally in about 30 seconds. The number for that is 712-432-7570. Again, 712-432-7570. The PIN code, 84877#. Again, 84877#. I will be on that call listening in. Get on the call, guys. Guys, have a great week. Please do put the time in your calendar. Please do get structure to your business. It's the difference between success and not success. So please make sure you do that, guys. Listen out for the accountability calls. They'll be on the Facebook page tomorrow. Every day I'll be posting an accountability call, and I'll see you guys all next Sunday. Have a great evening, chat. Bye-bye now.